Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Elon Musk, simply an actor playing sort of a Joker role on behalf of the White Hats in order to guide the public narrative towards disclosure? I suspect he gets its technology from sources above his pay grade, and this Twitter business seems like a cat playing with a mouse.
Well, William and Stephanie are very dear friends of mine. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I had the honor and privilege of staying with him in Mount Shasta. It was a weekend that I will never forget, ever. Let's look at Elon Musk this way. And I'm going to take you back to the book, The Day After Roswell. The book is about the taking of technology from the Roswell crash and probably the Aztec crash as well in New Mexico, taking that technology and Lieutenant Colonel Corso, it was his task to take this technology, have it examined, and figure out how we could use it. And it's a book called The Day After Roswell. And his job was to take it to contractors that worked with the government, aerospace, electronics, etc., have them figure out what it was, and then reverse engineer it. That technology, they would be given the license to use or the patent to use it and to create it, but elements of the military could use it at will. And everybody agreed to that. This is really where our Space Force, our advancement in military technology really came from. This is why we went from radio tubes to transistors to circuit boards like this. It was the reverse engineering of this technology, fiber optics, etc. All came out of this crash, and please get the book. I believe Paola Harris also has done several interviews with Lieutenant Colonel Corso, and they're a must watch. because she's an excellent researcher and interviewer as well. And I believe she's even written additional follow-up books regarding this. Those weren't the only crashes. There have been crashes and fines for many, many years. Sergeant Clifford Stone, God rest his soul, was part of the crash retrieval scenes. And he would go with a team to not only retrieve the bodies, but also the ships and technology. And that's another person you should research, Clifford Stone, Colonel Wendell Stevens, Bob Dean, many, many others who should not be forgotten. They've made huge contributions to this field of exopolitics, but they're just not remembered by the current populace, especially the young people. They're being drawn into people who haven't had an experience, that are taking other people's information and putting their own spin on it and making it their own. You know, you're best to go back to the source of those who actually had the experience and those who were boots on the ground. And I know that there's a question coming up that I can't wait to get to, where I will address this in detail. So, Elon Musk, you should look at him this way. Technology has been given to him to reverse engineer to make sure that it gets out to the masses. And he's in a unique position to do that, where some of this other technology has been stuck in black budget projects, special access projects that, and I believe the phrase was, would take an act of God to get out to humanity. So what they've done is they've just bypassed the whole military industrial complex, and they've gone to Musk and said, look, you do this, but you've got to put it out there. So he is the newest, latest, greatest version. And he's fully aware of the Tesla technology. And he has walked both sides. But the White Hats are in control now. They are. They're in control. They just haven't killed the enemy yet, but they are in control. And Musk knows his role. He's absolutely clear about what his role is now.
Juan O. Sabin, or however you pronounce it, did an interview regarding Nesara Jasara and crypto is a scam. I don't think that's entirely accurate, especially seeing the interview Jimmy and Joanne's 22, 26, 21 bit shoot and following Goldilocks' great insights. Plus, the world moving away from fiat gold backed. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Oh, not including why would so much money go into training space for those currency holders?
Okay, JP, I didn't get a lot of that because you kept cutting out. But as far as cryptos, as far as the changing of the monetary system, the current system we have is completely broken. And it was designed to enslave. You don't need crayons for that either. Okay? It was designed to enslave. And that's exactly what it's done. Now, as far as cryptos, some element of cryptos is real. You know, is it going to be 35, 50, 100, 700 different coins? Probably not. Will they be asset backed? Those that survive will be. Those that make the cut will be real money, or have the definition of real money. They will be asset backed by something. Okay, we've done the fiat thing. It was a disaster. Now, regarding the financial system, obviously it's changing. Wells Fargo just finished training most of their managers and supervisors and executives for 6 months. My own guy here was gone for 6 months. And that's where he was. Because we've chatted about it. And he was surprised that I knew. Now, according to Jim Willey of Hat Trick, and I have followed Jim Willey for 10 years, and he has been profoundly accurate. Wells, Citi, Sachs, Goldman, Chase, and Bank of America, and BlackRock are all in bankruptcy right now. Bank of America has been in bankruptcy since March. A lot of this has to do with derivatives, which we've been warned about for years. Well, it's here. Okay. If you've ever seen the movie The Big Short, well, we're really living it now. This isn't just isolated to the real estate market. This is isolated. This is everything. This is the entire global financial system is now dealing with this issue. Now, BlackRock, which is along with Vanguard, owned by the elites, they have assets of $12 trillion. BlackRock does. So it's interesting they're in bankruptcy. But you see, the entire financial system was a fraud. So if you're going to another system, they can't just flip over to it. You see, it's all paper. It's all paper. And what they have, they probably really can't even prove they own. For example, just go back to the real estate crisis, back in 2008, 2009. No one knew where the actual mortgages were. No one even knew who actually owned the mortgages. Nobody knew where the titles to the properties were because they kept selling the damn things over and over and over and over again just to make money, to put it on their books so that they can go out and create wealth, which they then took out of the banks as profit, as bonuses. They basically robbed the system. Okay. And then when the whole thing collapsed, they dumped it on us. They dumped it on us. We the people. That isn't going to happen again. That's not going to happen again because we're moving in a different direction. Now, we're not just advancing physically. We are growing and expanding spiritually first. And that means you don't do this shit. You don't live this way. Your priorities are completely different than just surviving a physical realm. The impetus evolving spiritually means you are creating a world that is not only comfortable and expanding, but a world of love and a world of integrity, of honor. Where you become authentic. And being authentic, you walk your talk. And in order to walk one's talk, we all have to clean up our shit. But once you do clean it up, it's gone. It's behind you. All right? There's nothing encompassing you at all. Nothing. Yeah, everything's changing, and it's going to be for the better. It really is. It's going to be for the better. It's moving slower, I think, than most of us wanted, but it is what it is. But we're going to get there. I mean, you can see the progression already. Soon, the banks are going to announce they're no longer going to be funding mortgages. That's coming. That entire system will be moving into the blockchain arena, okay, which is the QFS. The banks themselves will not be doing it because they've proven themselves not to be trusted with this stuff. Okay, and this goes back to what I was saying about Aldebaran, the Orion Group. What happens is that they're altruistic, but they go back to old programming. So if you take those opportunities away from them, when they flip back to that old programming, there's nothing there for them to do. They can't screw you over because there's nothing there. They can't do it because all of that authority, all those processes have been removed from them. Things are changing. There's a lot we still don't know. There are very specific reasons for not sharing everything just yet. You know, first, the war has to be over. And it isn't. It's not over just yet. There's still a move or two to be played, unfortunately. But don't get discouraged. I know how hard it is. Oh my God. You know, I do know how hard it is. I go to the grocery store. I buy gas. Even dog food. It's gone through the roof. It's just, my electric bill has gone up 70%. Of course, they put in smart meters in the entire complex. You know, and they warned us about a price rise, but, you know, they didn't actually change it. It's just that suddenly they put in the smart meters and now everybody's using more juice. You know, but of course we had no decision in that because we're renters. So, you know, I get it. You know, it costs 40% more to live. And if you live in the United States, that new bill, that anti-inflation bill, well, the entire middle class gets a 40% income tax raise. These people never learn. They just never learn. You know, they think they can just keep taking. And that's why the entire system is crumbling. And it is crumbling. Look, I've talked since we started doing these webinars about silver. Um, you're running out of time. You're running out of time. In fact, there are many silver experts who are saying that in the next 3-4 months, there will be no product to buy. Now, I'm not a metals expert. I don't have a license to do any of this. But I know some things. Just like you do. You've experienced life. You need to figure it out. You really do. The banks have been buying back all their long and short-term options on silver. They've been buying them back so that they can go to the COMEX and take possession of the physical metal. Okay? And the reason they're doing that is because they're scared shitless about what's coming, the transition. So that shows that they themselves aren't clear about the transition from the fiat system we live in, we have for 100 plus years, into the quantum system. There are things that have been, there's information that's been withheld from the banks as well. And I'm sure there's a reason for that, because they're not to be trusted. So they're scared. They want to survive. So they're buying back all their put options and short options on silver, on the metals, so that they can buy the product. They can get the product from the COMEX. Because once that's gone, it's empty. There isn't product. You can do your own research on this. Jim Willey's a very, very good source. He goes on tangents, but he eventually gets back to the real heart of the information. So just, bear with him on that.
Greetings, Alex. The chasm between those awakening and the normies still seems quite vast. I sense there must be some event large enough to quickly raise the collective vibration to gain enough momentum to get this thing done. Otherwise, this could take years at the rate we have been going. Do you see that event happening? If so, what is your best theory of how?
I'm not sure the chasm is as big as you think. I think there are a lot of people that are aware, they just simply don't know what to do. Or they simply have no one to talk to about it, because they don't want to be labeled a crazy or a conspiracy theorist. In fact, I got a new name just the other day, Conspiracy Claus. I guess because I look like Santa Claus, but I'm Conspiracy Claus now. I wear the lapel proudly at this point in the game. I think that it may not be as big as we might think. However, all you have to do is remember this. All those things with soul, spirit, never die. They change physical form, they change location, but they're constant, they're forever. So those that don't make this transition here either chose not to, either chose they didn't want to, for various of reasons. But that doesn't mean they're gone, like forever. The AI program stuff, the AI life forms that have no soul, they're done. They're going to be done. And I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but they're going to be done. So the galaxy
is going to have to make a decision, especially those in the Orion area. They have a massive shift coming to them. Massive shift. And, what's interesting is that the suppressed amongst them, they're going to be the very first to jump online, and they're going to be ahead of those who were suppressing them, because they're going to be like, yeah, we've been waiting for this. In their own way, they have been calling this movement forth themselves. They really have. And it's coming, and it's absolutely coming. So they will probably be leading the way for the rest of those in Orion in making a conscious decision to become free and self-responsible, as opposed to enslaving others and power over. And in so doing, they will realize themselves that they've imprisoned themselves by imprisoning the rest, because they've imprisoned themselves to this position of being over others. They themselves were not growing. They were not evolving in any way, shape, or form. And it has nothing to do with riches. It never did. Material wealth is not real. It's comfortable, but if you're not evolving here in your heart, in your mind, you've got nothing. You've got nothing, because you can't take any of that shit with you. What you take with you is your expansion of compassion and awareness and love for all. And the more that they have withheld love, the more the more shit they have to look at. Okay? And that ultimately is the lesson for everyone, whether it's this galaxy or any of the other trillions that are out there. Okay, by the way, the Webb telescope has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was no Big Bang. So, because the way that the galaxies are spread out is extremely uniform. And if you remember what the Ace had said, that all physical matter came out of black holes. We know black holes are everywhere. So, they also said there were 100 trillion galaxies in our holograph, our Vidya, which is now 12 dimensions. But they were referring to 11 at the time. So, also, one more thing I want to mention before we go to the next question. There's talk about 12th density beings here on Earth. And some people have a hard time wrapping their head around that. If you look at the idea that outside of third density, time is not linear. It's not linear. Then when you move into other frequency realms, dimensions, planes of existence, there are opportunities to understand that past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously. And I understand that with our very, very, very limited knowledge about physics and quantum physics and planes of existence, that we simply couldn't wrap our heads around that. But you will. Eventually you will. It is not a stretch to understand that some 12 density beings could be incarnated here or have walked in by agreement. It's not unrealistic. I mean, with God, all things are possible. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay?
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.